It's an absolutely beautiful Saturday afternoon here at the Pocono Raceway as we're ready for today's running of the ModSpace 125. The Automobile Racing Club of America is back in town here at the Pocono Raceway, and they are bringing the cars out to the grid right now. We are slightly delayed here because the Camping World Truck Series race had an absolutely thrilling 3 green-white checkers to get the race finished this afternoon. So we're a few minutes behind schedule, but we'll be ready to roll here shortly. Hi, everybody. I'm Ray Dunlap. Along with Phil Parsons, we're in the booth today and ready to go racing once again for ARCA. Today, it's the 14th event of 2015. And, Phil, we've had an excellent points race throughout the season. Grant Enfinger at the front of the pack. He picked up 3 wins to get the season rolling.
Yeah, he really did. Like he did last year, 3 wins to start the season. But Tom Hessert won't go away. He's only 70 points behind right now. Grant Enfinger, I was talking to his guys down in the garage area yesterday, and they said, we've got to make some ground up. We got to get some more cushion on that point lead right now because the championship is so important to them. Tom Hessert's been in the series 7 years, top 10 in points each and every year. It would be great to see him contend for that championship, but we have a great point battle.
Well, you know, it's been kind of an interesting season because he came out of the box with those 3 big wins, but then it's a little roller coaster. He went to Toledo, had the big crash, and we saw that points lead dwindle a little bit, but he's been inching back to get it back in the front.
Well, he has a fast car, and that's the key right now for these guys, for Gallagher Motorsports, is to have a fast car week in, week out. We talk about the ARCA Racing Series, Ray, and the different types of racetracks and venues they go to. We haven't even got to the dirt yet. We've got a couple dirt track races. We've already had a road course. We've had a couple super speedways at Daytona, Talladega, and some great short track action too. So, and we have a couple mile and a halfs left in Kentucky and Kansas. So this race series goes all over the Midwest, all over the Eastern Seaboard, on all sorts of different kinds of racetracks.
It's certainly an interesting, diverse group of drivers and a very, very diverse schedule, that's for sure. Well, Kyle Busch had an absolutely unbelievable day today here in the Pocono Mountains. He has been on some kind of a crazy roll here, and you see that number 51 Dollar General Toyota setting in victory lane. A Toyota had never won the Camping World Truck Race, but guess what? It did today, and earlier, Hermie Sadler was able to catch up with our winner.
You can call it being in the zone, you can call it whatever you like, but right now Kyle Busch is the hottest driver in all of motorsports. He goes back to victory lane in Pocono in his first start in the Truck Series in 2015. And Kyle, what a season, what a turnaround, what a comeback, whatever you want to call it. Doesn't matter the series, the track. Right now, Kyle Busch seems to be unbeatable. Congratulations.
Yeah, I appreciate that. It's a true testament to just the people I have around me. You know, everyone from Joe Gibbs Racing to Kyle Busch Motorsports. And can't say enough about this Dollar General Tundra. It was awesome today. And I think Rick Dreiling and Todd Vasos, M&M's, Toyota of Scranton, you know, TRD, this JGR engine was really awesome today. And, you know, KBM chassis, of course, we do all our own stuff in-house. And, you know, it wouldn't be possible without Camping World and the fans being here too, you know, so this is really, really cool. I think it's first Toyota truck win here at Pocono, my first win here in anything at Pocono. So, you know, this is certainly, again, another start to hopefully a solid weekend.
It was shaping up to be a battle between you and your teammate Eric Jones. In the last couple of restarts, the 4 got shaken out, had an accident, then a final restart. Take us through those last 2, and what was the key to get to victory lane? Yeah,
we had really good trucks today. I mean, they were awesome out front and in clean air. Good job, Jerry.
Didn't screw it
up. So, yeah, we had really good trucks, and, you know, I just hate it that whatever happened down there. I'm not sure. I haven't seen anything yet, but, you know, the four had a really good piece. He probably could have won. If he would have got out front, I don't know if I could have passed him, you know, but all in all, you know, I wish that the 4 had a better day than they did. Certainly the 54 as well, too, but, you know, to have a KBM truck in victory lane, you know, we're still strong as ever, and, you know, our stuff's feel like it's really, really good. So, you know, hopefully we can carry this on and put some momentum back on Jones's side getting out of here.
That's Kyle Busch, career victory number 43 in the Camping World Truck Series.
Well, thank you, Hermie, and obviously Kyle Busch, a former ARCA winner. So we've got a great day ready for you coming up here at the Pocono Raceway. The ARCA cars are on the grid, and we'll get you set for 125 miles after this. Welcome back to Pocono, getting ready to go racing with the 14th event of 2015 for the Automobile Racing Club of America. Cars are on the grid, and earlier, yesterday I guess it was, we had the Menards Pole Award, and it went to Frank Kimmel. It's his 43rd pole, and the third time that he's done it here at the Pocono Raceway. It had been 17 races since his last win here at Pocono, which happened July 2006. Our fast qualifier today is Frank Kimmel. He wins the Menards Pole Award here at Pocono. So the drivers are in their car getting ready to go, and now we need to get ready for our pre-race ceremonies. Let's send it down trackside to get things started.
Race fans, it's time for those most famous words in motorsports. And here to give the command, please welcome our Grand Marshal, the President of Titan Modular Systems, Michael Wiggins.
Drivers, start your engine.
So the engines have fired here at Pocono. The cars are on the grid, ready to send them out to the track. We'll introduce you to the starting lineup for today's 125-miler after this. 20 laps to go, and we have a dandy for you tonight, and we have a brand new leader.
What an outstanding job by Travis Braden.
Will we stay green, and can he pull it off? And the white flag will come out from Travis Braden for Wheeling, West Virginia's Travis Braden. He wins at Lucas Oil Raceway Park. Not only is he a first-time winner, but he does it in his first career start in the ARCA Racing Series. That's pretty cool. How about this? 8 times this season we've had a first-time winner in the ARCA Racing Series presented by Menards. That is an unbelievable statistic. Will it happen again today? We'll find out together here at Pocono. We've had a great battle so far this season for our Scott Rookie Challenge, and let's take a look at our spotlight today. We will be following Sarah Cornett Ching. She drives the Race 101 net car number 2. She's a welder by trade, and guess what? This season, 5 top 10s.
And she probably traveled the farthest to get here from British Columbia.
Sarah Cornett Ching is our Scott Rookie Spotlight tonight. We'll be following her. She's had an excellent season, and there's a nice onboard with her. Take a look at your starting grid. It'll be at the top of the screen. Frank Kimmel, as we said, on the pole. Outside of him will be Grant Enfinger in car number 23. Also joining us on the broadcast today will be Caitlin Vinci and Jim Trado. Let's start it off with Jim.
Ray, when you come to Pocono Raceway, you think experience pays off. Well, Frank Kimmel has that, and he also has a very fast number 25 Toyota. I talked to him yesterday. I said, Frank, you're not running for the championship for the driver's standings. How about the win? Is it all about the win? He said, you know, it's hard to change an old driving style about running for a championship. He's only won 10 championships, but today is his chance to get a win in this machine, which sits second in the owner points. So he said, I have a little bit of owner's points in my mind, but I saw the gleam in his eyes. He said, I've never been faster in a race car at Pocono than I was yesterday in qualifying. So look for Frank Kimmel to be a very strong competitor. That age and that experience and speed could be some dangerous things to watch. Caitlin Vinci, what are you talking about?
Well, I'm talking about a 17-year-old who's making his Pocono debut this weekend, and that would be Kyle Weatherman. He had a strong qualifying effort, ended up qualifying 3rd, but I just spoke to him a little bit ago, and he told me he's still trying to get comfortable in turn 1. But the good news is he's got a lot of good drivers to lean on for some advice and insight. One of those guys is his roommate, Chris Buescher, the Xfinity Series driver for Roush Fenway Racing. Those two live together, and he told me that Chris has given him a lot of advice on how to get around Pocono Raceway. And another guy who's helped him is Trevor Bayne. Trevor Bayne piloted this same race car to Victory Lane just back in June. So some good guys to get some advice for on how to get around Pocono Raceway. Guys?
Well, thank you, Caitlin. We'll have 4 different drivers carrying onboard cameras for us today. Phil, why don't you start us out with Sarah Cornett Ching?
Yeah, we're just going to ride along with Sarah Cornett Ching. As you mentioned, she's driving the Race 101 net.net Chevy. She is our Scott Rookie Challenger here. You see it's the Scott onboard. She will be starting from the 11th spot. As you mentioned, 5 top 10 finishes. Not here in Pocono back in June, though. She needs to prove on that.
Let's move over to Tom Hessert. He'll be carrying our Valvoline on board today. Driver of number 77 in the Barbera's Autoland Dodge. Tom has had a great season right there in the points, and he'll roll off 7th today here at Pocono.
We're going to ride along with that Kyle Weatherman that Caitlin was telling us about. He's in the Crosley Brands Ford, and he will be driving that Ford onboard camera, and he will start his first race here at Pocono from 3rd.
We already mentioned that our fast qualifier today was Frank Kimmel, a 3-time winner. He will be driving the Ansel Menards Toyota, and that will be our Toyota onboard today. Kimmel taking him to the green from the front row. Nobody here with any more experience than Frank Kimmel. Maybe Bobby Gerhardt. I guess it'd be a close.
Yeah, Bobby Gerhardt has started here 52 times, finished in the top 10 in exactly half of those, 26.
Gerhardt from just down the road in Lebanon, Pennsylvania. Once again, you see where your favorite drivers will be starting at the top of the screen. The cars are on the racetrack. Another lap or two before we get ready to go with the green flag. The number 22 on the pole, his first ever start. Green flag is in the air, and here they come down the front straightaway. It's off corner number 3. Here comes the number 22 car from Knoxville, Tennessee. Trevor Bayne will win in his first start in the ARCA Racing Series.
Pretty flawless performance by Trevor Bayne.
You just can't take away from the experience that you get when you're a Sprint Cup Series driver. Lots of first-time winners this year in the ARCA Racing Series. Phil, an interesting front row. These guys with a lot of experience. But how about Matt Kurziewski, a driver that's been doing a great job. Excellent qualifying today in car 54.
Yeah, so impressive. His only top only finish this year outside of the top 10 was at Iowa back in 15th. He really does a nice job. Brian Keselowski leads the charge on that team. He's going to run 2 more races this year to super speedways at Kentucky and Kansas.
And I want to keep my eye on Cole Custer, also the driver of the 00. He is going to be fun to watch in a race car that Chase Elliott used to win with right here at Pocono. Good field of cars. They're all lined up 2 by 2, and here they come out of turn number 3 here at Pocono. We're ready for the green flag to get it underway. It's just 50 laps and 125 miles. Frank Kimmel leads them to the green, and here we go.
How about Cole Custer jumps down to the inside below Weatherman in that white car.
Custer taking a look down low. Kimmel uses the middle lane. Grant Enfinger still side by side as Kurziewski will move up.
Boy, nice run on the outside by Kurziewski as well as Weatherman. How about Kurziewski going for the lead?
And Kurziewski in car number 54 down to the inside of Kimmel. Can he do it down the back straightaway? They are rolling down towards the tunnel turn. I think he's got it.
Oh, Weatherman sideways, and around he goes, and takes Kimmel with him.
2 cars into the wall. Grant Enfinger. We also see the 77 of Tom Hessert. A big implications in the points early on here on lap number 1 at Pocono.
Boy, Ray, you talk about only 50 laps here. There's a sense of urgency. This is a short race. And how about Kurziewski? He's got nobody behind him. Everyone else wrecked.
It's almost identical to what we saw in the Camping World Truck Series today. Matt Crafton gets involved in the early stages of the race today. Our points leader in big trouble, Hessert, with significant damage to the front of his Dodge Charger.
Yeah, that's a brake duct down there. How about Matt Tift, also that Federated Auto Parts car, also with a lot of damage. It's amazing how many good cars were taken up in this accident here. Grant Enfinger on pit road now. He also got a piece of that as well.
I don't think Enfinger's is quite as bad, but they will definitely have to work on his Allegiant Travel Chevrolet. Going to put tires on it for sure. We saw that Kurziewski got a real good run down towards the tunnel turn. He took the lead, and let's take a look at the replay. Kimmel is on the outside, and here comes Weatherman trying to get the spot.
Yeah, Weatherman had a good run off for turn number 1. He just gets loose here in the tunnel turn. He really forces Frank way up out of the groove. You see the 23 of Enfinger get turned around. I'm not sure he has any contact with anybody. A lot of damage, though, to the 77 of Hessert. Let's ride along with Kyle Weatherman here, Ray, and see what he saw.
It's that fender in there. He touches him and loses it.
He just got loose and had to chase that Ford up the hill. He made contact with Frank. He forced Frank all the way up out of the groove into the outside wall. Here's from Tom Hessert's on board.
Right ahead of him is the 00, Cole Custer. He is looking to the high side, and there's that contact. It looked like Theriot got into the back of Enfinger. That's what caused the 23 to spin, and then multiple cars involved. And now we'll get an onboard look from the 25. Here's Frank Kimmel looking down to the inside.
You saw Krzyzewski make that great run. He gets the lead here. You see Frank, he realizes that he's got a car on his inside. He moves up the hill trying to give the 22 of Weatherman room. He felt him there, but unfortunately Weatherman could not control that car when they exited turn 2.
And you could tell that Kimmel was able to keep going, so obviously he did make contact with the wall, but the damage on that Menards Toyota certainly not as bad as some of the other cars we saw.
It's pretty significant though, Ray. I just saw him creeping around. You can see the rear spoiler left side of your screen.
Yeah.
Pretty significant damage to that 25 Menards Toyota.
Yeah, that
look at that right rear corner.
That right rear is way worse than I thought. So Kimmel, a driver you expect to be a contender to win, involved in this. We saw Matt Tifft heading to the garage area. They'll have to continue to work on that Federated Auto Parts race car. And Tom Hessert, who comes in here second in the points, just 70 behind, and he is climbing out of his Dodge, and they've got a lot of work to do.
Yeah, tremendous amount of damage on that Cunningham Motorsports entry. You see Tom obviously upset.
Jim Trado, more on what Frank Kimmel's up against.
Kimmel said he had a tire go down. That's why it took so long to come around to the pits. Regardless if they're open or not, they were coming. Right rear is the concern. Also, the fender clearance on the right front is also something that Frank said, hey, I still have a good race car. Just give me some tire clearance. 3 hammers on the deck lid. They also have a baseball bat to get the clearance around the right front tire to get it clear. Frank Kimmel gives the okay sign. He knows when he gets the signal to go to try to stay on the lead lap.
Yeah, I'm not sure he realizes how much damage there really is to the rear of that car. That he may be able to soldier on here, but that's going to be about the extent of it, I think.
Delta Kimmel will be a winner today. Big damage early on at Pocono. Pretty major crash on the first lap here of the Automobile Racing Club Series of America event at Pocono. And major points implications happening here early on. Matt Krzyzewski driving the Costi Chevrolet is out front, but you see big damage on Kyle Weatherman's Crosley number 22.
Yeah, we talked about Kyle before the race started. First super speedway race here at Pocono, and unfortunately it didn't last very long. Got a little bit loose over there in the tunnel turn, got sideways. Let's take another look at it, Ray, and see what happened to Kyle Weatherman. He had a good run off of turn number 1 down the Long Pond straightaway. He just gets loose here, has to chase that car up the hill, just runs out of room. Frank was there. Frank had nowhere to go, gets forced into the outside wall. Tom Hessert got pushed into the incident, as well as Matt Tifft. Grant Enfinger gets turned around by Austin Terrio, but I don't think he had any damage whatsoever, just flat spotted his tires.
On board here as we take a look, there is Weatherman's on board, and he just barely touches that fender with Kimmel, and around they go, and they're both hard into the wall. There you see Enfinger spinning around, but as you said, he may be no worse for the wear. And here is Tom Hessert's Valvoline on board. He's looking, was there anywhere to go? And right in the middle of the racetrack sat his teammate. So the Cunningham Motorsports team takes out 2 cars with big damage over in the tunnel turn on the very first lap.
There's another look. It looked like Weatherman was trying to get down to the bottom. He got his left sides down to the yellow line for just a moment, but then got loose and had to use more racetrack up to chase that car. And then the battle ensued.
Work continues on Frank Kimmel's car, Jim Trado.
Twofold to get that suspension figured out on the right front. They've got a baseball bat going around it, but more importantly, when they fix the right rear, they pull the inner fender liner out. And on that pace lap, when Frank made his out lap, he said, guys, there's fumes in the car, seal it off for me. So they peel the right rear Hoosier tire off the car. They're going to try to seal up that bodywork within the car to make sure Frank doesn't get any fumes coming through that way. That's where the exhaust lets out on the right-hand side of his Toyota. So he's like, hey, if you can do something about that, they will. They're taking the time now under this long caution lap to fix not only the body, but also to get it sealed off so Frank can breathe properly in the cockpit.
And Phil, when we talk about the ARCA Racing Series, there's the National Championship. Then they have the Calypso Lemonade Short Track Championship, and also the Hoosier Tire Super Speedway Challenge. Guess who was leading that coming in? Car 25.
Oh, car 25.
Yeah.
Obviously sharing the duties between Frank Kimmel and Brandon Jones. Had an outstanding year. I think there were second in owner points coming into this race as well. They're going to take a bit of a hit today.
Matt Krzyzewski in 54, second in those points, has a chance to gain today. Third in those points, 22. So a number of guys with big hits early on here at Pocono. Well, tonight, before Ronda Rousey defends defends her bantamweight title. UFC 190 starts on Fox Sports 1 as world-class jiu-jitsu master Damian Mayo gives Neil Magny the toughest test of his career. Plus, it's a lightweight onslaught when Rafael Cavalcante takes on Pat Cummings. The action gets underway at 7 p.m. Eastern, all on Fox Sports 1. And as always, it's streaming on Fox Sports Go.
Looked like a prelim right here, didn't it?
Yeah,
lap number one.
A middleweight bout of some kind. And the problem was it was on lap 1. You wonder how upset Frank Kimmel was when this all happened. Take a look.
And part of that reasoning is that he stayed. It was on pit road. They were making repairs. Jim Trader was talking about how long it takes to get around here, but unfortunately they weren't able to get back out, and they lost a lap, and that's what Frank was so upset about, losing a lap on pit road like that.
The great thing is it's so early on in this race. He may have a chance to rebound from that, but Tom Hessert, Kyle Weatherman, two guys that are not going to rebound today, and that will have major implications on our championship points race. As I said, Grant Enfinger came in here with a 70-point lead over Hessert. And Austin Wayne Self is 160 out. So this could be a big day for Grant Enfinger.
Yeah, it could be some strategy right now. We've got some guys coming down pit road. There is Austin Wayne Self. We figure the pit window is probably 40 to 45 laps there. These guys are required to pit before lap 40. Austin Wayne Self comes in here for a little splash of fuel. That may be it for him. He may want to stretch this thing and go to the end. Jim, what do you think?
Well, Danny Johnson, the crew chief, said to me earlier this morning, he said anywhere around lap 10, we will take the gamble. If it's under green, if it's under caution, we want to come in early to get within our fuel window. With it 1 to green, he's amongst 5 or 6 cars that have come down pit road. Who's on your end, Caitlin?
Well, it's a bad news for our current points leader, Grant Enfinger. He's back down on pit road with some left rear bumper damage to his race car. He came across the radio and said he just wanted to come down pit road, have the team eyeball the car, make sure there's not any other damage. He said he has a small vibration. It's not as smooth as it was before that incident on lap 1, guys.
So here's the question, Phil. Don't these guys that are racing for a championship have to approach this race a little differently?
Oh, they have to be a little bit cautious. We talk about Austin Wayne Self, who comes in here third in points. He certainly has to be aware of the fact that he can't afford to run out of gas, and certainly Grant Enfinger. Caitlin talked about him wanting to repair a little bit of that left rear damage. He also topped that thing off with fuel, so he's in that boat. If this thing goes green the rest of the way, he may be able to stretch it like Austin Wayne Self.
So a couple of guys coming to the pit area a little bit earlier. We kind of figured maybe lap 15, something like that, will you be in the clear?
Yeah, we saw, well, obviously just a few moments ago with the Camping World Truck Series event, we had three green-white checkers. We're not limited to 3 green-white checkers here in the ARCA Racing Series. We'll run as many as it takes to get this thing its completed distance.
And how about our last race at Indianapolis? A great run there, and it was all won on strategy.
Yeah, last 90 laps. Green flag there. Travis Braden was put tires on there with 90 laps to go. Nobody else did. When it all cycled out, he had the best tires, and he got to victory lane.
Everybody thought for sure there'd be another round of pit stops. It didn't play out that way. How will it go today? Let's see if we can get a green run here for a little bit. Thierio down to the inside. Matt Krzyzewski will lead him to the green.
Watch that 0-0 of Cole Custer. Let's see if he fans out here or if he's going to stay in line behind Thierio.
You see Momo on the hood of that blue car running in the backpack of that. That is David Levine. He is in 4th. To the high side goes Custer. He's trying to follow Krzyzewski. Can he get by Thierio? They go towards the tunnel turn.
Yeah. Krzyzewski was really good on the outside. He was good on the initial start on the outside, and that's what got him out of trouble, being out ahead of that stuff. Cole Custer now has 2nd.
Krzyzewski, a career best run at Pocono here when we were back in June. He finished 5th that day, then followed it up with another 5th place run at Michigan. That's been his best. Can he do better than that today? We'll see, but here comes Custer.
This is the 3rd start this year for Cole Custer. Had a top 5 in a pole on the road course at New Jersey. And then he ran his 2nd race right here and finished 24th with problems.
Look at this. Here comes Will Kimmel. He's going to try to put some pressure on David Levine. Car number 69 started in the back of the pack today, and boy, has he made some progress.
Boy, he certainly has. He's up to the 5th spot here. Will Kimmel started all the way at the back. We had that incident. He gained some spots there, but really only 1 green flag lap, and he's already up in the top 5.
Fantastic run for Will Kimmel as he has moved towards the front. Right behind him, there's Sarah Cornett-Ching in that number 2 car. We're on the board with Sarah and our Scott on board.
Sarah's really done a nice job this season. You talk about the 5 top 10s she's had. Really solid, piling up a lot more top 15 finishes as well.
Toledo, a bad race for them as they had trouble there, but after that, she has been consistently in the top 10. And we see Kimmel now going to try to take it down to the inside. You see American Force, that is a
Wheel
new sponsor.
company.
Yeah, wheel
company.
Brand new sponsor for Will Kimmel this weekend, and they must be bringing him some good luck, as here he goes by David Levine, and that'll put Will Kimmel up to 4th.
Yeah, Will's had a runner-up finish here at this racetrack before. It was last year, so he knows how to get it done here at Pocono, all the way up to 4th.
David Levine drifts up just a little bit in the center of the corner, driving for Lyra Motorsports. It's been a good season for him. He's been right there leading the Scott Rookie Challenge with Sarah Cornett-Ching. They have been back and forth with that, and it'll be a great battle all the way down to the end, because remember, they get to throw out one of their worst finishes.
Yeah, absolutely. Here's a battle for the lead. Now Cole Custer's chasing down that 54 of Krzyzewski. Remember, that 00 is the same team that just raced in the Camping World Truck Series event with Kevin Harvick. Had that runner-up finish to Kyle Busch.
A great race team for sure, and Cole Custer has continued to learn. This young man has been very impressive everywhere he runs. He's won in the K&N Pro Series, won in the Camping World Truck Series, has yet to win in ARCA. Will today be his day? We'll find out. Haas Automation on the hood. And this is, again, a very fast race car. When Chase Elliott brought that car here for the very first time, it was like on a rail. Absolutely perfect that day.
Yeah, he had a great race car here back in June. Unfortunately, he made a change prior to qualifying, and he said it really collapsed that left front spring, got the thing down hard on the front air dam there, and he wasn't very good.
Finished 24th that day, I believe. So hoping to redeem himself a bit is Cole Custer. Custer from Laredo Ranch, California. Rich Lush is calling the shots for him today. Of course, we saw Joe Shear calling the pit box for Kevin Harvick today, and that 00 finished 2nd in the Camping World Trucks. Harvick made that late race gamble. He came in and pitted. He said, if I'm not good enough to win, let's try it. Had to restart back in about 10th.
Yeah, if he hadn't had those last several restarts, though, he was not going to improve his position. But the way it panned out there, he was in position there at the end, had a great runner-up finish.
Kyle Busch won in the Camping World Trucks today. Harvick finished 2nd. A tough break for Matt Crafton today, as he was in a crash early and the points really shuffled.
Yeah, same scenario right here in this series, too. A point shuffle going on.
Yeah, another Kyle's had a bad day, and he's standing by with Caitlin.
Well, Ray, you're absolutely right. A tough break for you early there in the race. Kyle, first off, are you okay, and what did you see from your perspective?
Yeah, I'm fine. It was just unfortunate. You kind of got in the tunnel turn there. Didn't really have much room. Kind of clipped the apron there. Collected a lot of cars there. So it was half my fault, half Kimmel's fault. Kind of just ran out of room there and had nowhere to go. So it was unfortunate for all the guys that put all the hard work in here. We'll go to the next one and hopefully get them there.
Kyle Weatherman's day cut short early here today.
You remember when Trevor Bayne won the race here in June, Kyle Weatherman had actually practiced that car for him and had a problem in a very similar spot on the racetrack.
Yeah, he actually wrecked the primary car here. Oh, trouble for the 06. That's turn number 1. A lot of smoke coming out from under that car.
Tim Bienz from South Daytona, Florida. Looks like they may have an engine going south.
We're going to stay green for now. I'm sure the ARCA officials are checking the racetrack to make sure he didn't put anything down.
He is down to the low side. He's not in the racing groove right now, so hopefully he is able to get to the pit area, and it looks like we will stay green.
Yeah, that black car right there is Krzyzewski, our leader. There comes Cole Custer, left side of your screen.
Krzyzewski had to go around some lap traffic, but he continues to lead in car number 54. Costy's Energy Service on the hood of that number 54 Chevrolet, and it looks pretty good so far.
Yeah, it really does. Again, that's the only intermediate type car that this team has. They have a super speedway car. That was their plan this year, was just to run the super speedways. And then when ARCA came with this Ilmore engine package, they said, hey, why don't we buy another car, because we're going to have the engines anyway. And that really opened up his schedule.
Well, it's been a nice job for Matt Krzyzewski. He continues to lead. We're 14 laps in today for ARCA. Well, Welcome back to Pocono. The big question is, when do you pit today and how will your strategy play out? Our front-running cars of Matt Krzyzewski and Cole Custer still on the racetrack, but we have seen a couple of drivers all ready to pit road today, Phil. Now, you told me as a crew chief you have an option to run this race today like a road course.
Yeah, and I think that's what Austin Terrio's crew as well as Josh Williams' crew has done. But the only problem is they weren't close enough to lead. Austin Terrio actually spent extra time on pit road because he had a little bit of that piece of that incident on the first lap. He ran in the back of, I believe, Matt Tifft or maybe Grant Enfinger, so he had some damage that he had to repair. He stayed on pit road a little bit too long. Josh Williams wasn't close enough to the leader to stay on the lead lap. That's what you don't want to do. You don't want to pit under green and lose a lap in case the caution flag comes out. But right now you can see Cole Custer, he's going to use that strategy. He's right up there with the lead. He's going to stay on the lead lap here and put himself in position that he can go the rest of the way from here if he needs to.
So Cole Custer is going to give up second place on the racetrack under green and come in and do what we expect to be his one and only pit stop of the day. Matt Krzyzewski has stayed out. Now, Josh Williams came in on lap number 17. He was running fourth, but what about Custer, Jim Trado?
The call is for right side tires, a little bit hot into the pits, but still before the line. Haas Automation on the hood, also Haas Automation on the hood for this pit crew who changes tires and works on pit road for Kurt Busch. This team has done a very fast 2 right side tire change for Cole Custer in search of victory here at Pocono.
Yeah, that's exactly what you want to do. You want to have a quick pit stop. It's only going to take 1 can of gas because we've run so few laps here. So great pit work by the Haas Automation guys.
And there you see our front runner. That is Matt Krzyzewski. He just came out of turn number 3. He crosses the start-finish line, so Custer will be out in plenty of time ahead of him to stay on the lead lap.
Yeah, Cole Custer's already on the Long Pond straightaway in between turns 1 and 2 right now. So great pit work by his guys. Great strategy.
So now Brian Keselowski calls the shots for the number 54. If you're him right now, what do you do? Do you say, I got to do the exact same strategy, or do you do something completely different?
I think those cars are so similar. I think I want to come to pit road now, too, to put myself in a position that I know I can make it from here. If this race goes green, then I know I've already made my fuel stop. It's a rule in ARCA that you have to stop in the pits at least 1 time before lap 40. Obviously, Cole Custer's already done that. The 54 of Krzyzewski has not done that yet.
So we'll have to watch our scoring as we cycle around. We need to get a complete lap in here to see exactly where everybody will cycle out now that Custer and Josh Williams have come to the pit area as well as Austin Terrio.
Yeah, Terrio and Josh Williams right now are both 1 lap down because of slower pit stops and how far back they were when they started.
So there's so much into making that call. It's where are you? What's the differential between you and the leader? And, you know, I wonder about Will Kimmel. I thought his strategy was going to have to be completely different today because he started so far back. But guess what? He's running in second.
Yeah, but he is 16 seconds behind Krzyzewski, and that may not be enough for him to be out, to get out and not lose a lap. But Krzyzewski could come to pit road. Then I think that would open up the floodgate for everybody else to come to pit road because he's so far out in front right now. A lot of guys aren't going to be able to stop without losing that lap.
So if Krzyzewski pits and you're Will Kimmel or Bill Kimmel calling a shot, you say come to pit road also?
That lap.
Okay.
I pit that lap.
Well, Krzyzewski stays on the track, so we won't have to worry about it this time. I guess what they're hoping is maybe we can run for a while here, stay in our normal cycle and get a yellow flag and pit under yellow. That'd make it easier.
Yeah, they could certainly do that, but Krzyzewski doesn't even have to worry about that. He's so far out in front right now. We know that he can come down pit road without having to worry about losing a lap, and then he's done pitting if he needs to be. It just opens up the possibilities. He can come back in later and put tires on if he wants if we get a late caution flag.
Gotcha. See Elmira heat treating on the quarter panels of that 54. They've been helping out Matt a good bit, and he said, you know, every little bit helps, and as you said, changing their schedule from really a 2-race plan. They wanted to do Daytona and Talladega. It's really opened up the window, and he's got a lot of good TV time.
Yeah, he certainly has, and he's done a great job here. There's Nick Igdalski right there. Now, Nick, you would think he's a Pocono specialist because they're the owners of the racetrack.
Oh, he's got to have 1,000,000 laps, right?
He said, yeah, he does in his Tahoe. But had his best career finish in the ARCA Racing Series here last year. He finished 6th.
It's in that exact very car right there. Derek Cope runs this team for Nick, and Nick is now in 9th spot, having another great run. You know, he was telling me about all the things that have gone wrong here in all the races he's run. They've had just a litany of mechanical issues that kept him from doing well, but as you said last year, a great run.
It looks like he's solid again here today. See Frank Kimmel there, that's the yellow car. Frank's being shown 1 lap down right now, but he lost that lap on pit road while they were trying to make repairs to that Menards Toyota.
The problem for Kimmel is all of these guys who've been pitting are still ahead of him, so even if the yellow does come out, he's not going to have a shot at getting the free pass. But guess what? Our front-running car is going to come to pit road. Matt Kurziewski gives it up here on lap number 24, Caitlin.
That's right, Ray. The race leader is coming down pit road. I heard him asking his team what Cole Custer did on his last stop. So similar to Cole, they've opted to do a 2-tire right side stop only for this 54 machine, guys.
And Will Kimmel stays on the track that lap, Phil. He goes by. Kurziewski will get his 2 tires here as we're at the halfway point of today's 125-miler. Man, what a short race this is.
Boy, it certainly is, but a good pit work by Kurziewski's guys. We'll see how he comes out here relative to Cole Custer. Remember, they were running right together. That looked like Cole Custer going by the start-finish line just now. We'll see as Kurziewski tries to get up to speed here over in turn number 1.
Now remember, Custer is at full speed coming down there into turn 1. Matt going up through the gears. He'll get through turn 1 and start to head down towards the tunnel turn. What is the interval between he and Cole Custer? How did it work out after pit stops? We'll know here in just a few seconds.
Looks like he's got about half of the long pond straight with that white car behind him is Cole Custer. So Kurziewski, Brian Keselowski, and their crew did a great job.
I think the lead's a little bit bigger now than before the round of pit stops.
Yeah, without a doubt, they were within 1 second when Cole Custer came to pit road the first time.
All right, so Will Kimmel now posted as our leader in car number 69, Enfinger right behind him. So when will those guys decide to pit? Will they play out a different strategy now and take it closer to the end of the race to get tires?
What an amazing comeback by Grant Enfinger here. We saw him spun around here on lap number 1. Right now runs second.
Enfinger has been great at this particular racetrack, and right now it's Will Kimmel out front in car 69. We're at the halfway point at Pocono. Welcome back to Pocono. We're under caution for the second time today in the ModSpace 125. Our first caution was for a big crash in the tunnel turn. This one comes out for a little piece of debris, but obviously metal in the racing surface is not good. And Phil, this is a 77 Valvoline onboard. That is Tom Hessert back on the racetrack.
Yeah, no hood on that car, and obviously the cowl didn't have anything to hold it down. There's Tom Hessert. Tough break for Tom. Always so competitive, always so consistent. Top 10 finisher, and that first lap incident's going to put him way behind here. He's only completed 4 laps so far.
Toledo and New Jersey had second place runs, but the ultimate question is, how do you play out the rest of the strategy for today? Will Kimmel out front, Enfinger behind him, and the yellow out now obviously gives them an opportunity to pit.
Yeah, it's easy for Will Kimmel and those guys. Come on down pit road right now because we know we're going to make it from here. He's not stopped yet. Grant Enfinger, he can choose to stay on the racetrack. He will inherit the lead if he wants to, if he doesn't need to come in and make some more adjustments. Austin and Wayne, same situation for them. They've both pitted back on lap number 7. Looks like, though, they're headed to pit road.
So the front-running cars are going to head down pit road right now. The number 69 will lead them down there, and then the 23 will be next, Caitlin.
Yes, your series points leader is coming down pit road. He told his team it had a 4-wheel drift and no grip on that race car. And he also said it started out loose, but now it's ended up a little bit tight. And his crew chief responded saying you had more air in the left rear than you needed. So they're going to make it a 4 tires and fuel stop for the 23.
So race leader Will Kimmel is also in, guys. They're going to go 4 tires on the number 69 machine. This American forged, aluminum forged wheels machine is in. They're going to get 4 tires. They were all very happy. Hands in the air when the yellow flag came out because they had yet to pit. This team had the engine cut off in the qualifying. That's why he was way down the order in 26 at the start. He knew he had a good piece. He's going after his 4th straight top 5 finish here, and a victory would be huge for this small team.
And it looks like the 69 just barely got off pit road ahead of Grant Enfinger, so he will get that position. And here we see Some other cars coming off pit road.
Yeah, Kurzievsky, Austin Wayne Self Kurzievsky, Cole Kushner stay on the racetrack. That is Austin Wayne Self coming off pit road. Kurzievsky will inherit the lead now by these pit stops.
So the cycle is complete here as we're 29 laps into the ModSpace 125. Tomorrow, NASCAR's here in Pocono, and we'll bring you all the news and previews of the race with NASCAR Race Day. It'll be on Fox Sports 2. Then later, don't miss Victory Lane. That's on Fox Sports 1. We'll get you the highlights, interviews, and analysis of all the action. Coverage begins 11 a.m. Eastern on Fox Sports 2. It's Race Day and Victory Lane. We've got you covered from Pocono right here.
I think Kyle Busch punches his ticket to the chase. Not necessarily by winning, but certainly finishing high enough to get up in the top 30.
Have you ever seen any other driver on a roll like Kyle Busch is after coming back from his accident?
Not really. Not really. He was a man possessed, that's for sure.
Pulled it off today in the Camping World Truck Series. Dominated at Indianapolis.
One that swept the weekend in Indianapolis, both Xfinity race and the Cup race.
Has the pole for tomorrow's NASCAR Sprint Cup race. He really is in his own little zone right now. So an interesting cycle here. We had some green flag pit stops here at Pocono. Then once the yellow came out, Will Kimmel decided to come down. So as we line them back up, it'll be Matt Kurzievsky and Cole Custer, really sort of resetting right where we were before. Although on the green flag cycle, it all worked out that Kurzievsky had a pretty nice lead, but guess what? They closed that up, and we're back on board with our Scott on board for Sarah Cornett-Ching in her Race 101 car, driving for Tony Blanchard.
Yeah, she's being shown in the 18th spot right now, one lap down. We have 13 cars on the lead lap. Tom Birdie is the last of those.
I mentioned, Phil, at the top of the show that she was a welder by trade. Here's a young woman who's up on the pipelines way up north, and she's welding every day, and she said, I'm going to find a way to go racing. Gets herself down to Mooresville, North Carolina, goes through the Race 101 school with Tony Blanchard and said, this is the career I want. I'm moving. I'm going to make it. And she's been doing a fantastic job.
Yeah, she's certainly proving that she belongs. As you can see right there, 5 top 10 finishes in her 13 starts with a best of 8. That's Chicago.
Let's go back down pit road, check back in with Caitlin.
Well, we were talking about how fast that pit stop was for the 54 team, and the reason that is because he's using members of the 48 Sprint Cup team for Jimmy Johnson, tire changers from that team on that car. So they're feeling pretty good. They've been chatting about the weather and Donald Trump on their radio right now, but in all seriousness, his crew chief said, all right, on this restart, you've got to beat the 00. That will be for the race, guys.
Well, thank you, Caitlin. So lots of good pit crews down there today performing work, and it's been evident as these cars are not only fast on the track, but they got out of the pits very quickly. Enfinger in a good position. Will Kimmel on the inside of row number 2 trying to chase him down. Here we go, back to green. Kurzievsky gets a good jump.
Yeah, it looked like Cole Custer was laying back just a little bit trying to get a run. Not sure it worked or not. Now he's going to try to pull up even with Kurzievsky.
How about this? Bo Lamastus in the Crosley number 42 running in 6th right now.
Let's see if we can get through turn number 1 clean here. Will Kimmel takes over the 3rd spot. Got Grant Enfinger, that blue car, right behind him.
The number 98 came in. They had some service on this last round of pit stops. Theriault is able to go by him. And now they're 3 wide heading down to the center of the corner.
Levine in that 59 car down to the inside. There's Austin Wayne Self, the 98. Levine does a nice job not getting loose down there.
Yes, he does. Cole Custer has taken the lead away from Matt Kurzievsky here. 33 laps complete, and Kurzievsky sideways coming out of turn number 3.
His guys talked about that, the restart being the race here. It could possibly be that way. That clean air is so important. Cole Custer has a very fast Haas automation, but Kurzievsky wants that lead back.
He's going to try down to the bottom. Here goes Matt. He's going to go through turn number 1, and he's going to get right up to that back bumper of the 00.
Yeah, these guys have battled from the initial start of this race. They've been never more than a couple seconds apart. Good little pull out there on the Long Pond straightaway for Cole Custer.
Matt Kurzievsky used this Ilmore 396 that's in his race car in the last race that he ran, which was at Iowa. Then they took it out and put it in the car for for Brian Keselowski in his brand new 5-star body car, and they ran it. Whenever we were at our last race at Indianapolis, they swap it back in this car and come to Pocono. That's a pretty cool story.
Yeah, and I think it's working pretty well, too.
Yeah. And this is engine number 05, so early on in the build for the Ilmor guys, and he's got a fast power plant under that hood, no question.
And Ray, we've only got 16 laps to go right now. We talk about this race being so short here, only a 50-lapper. These guys are really clicking some laps down.
A big crash at the very first lap of today's race took Tom Hessert and put him in a bad spot. But how about this battle for 8th right now? Josh Williams is down on the inside, and he's given a really good run to Austin Wayne Self.
Yeah, they get down to the tunnel turn here. Josh keeps that car right down on the bottom, is able to make that pass on the 98 of Self.
We've talked about Musselman's applesauce on that number 6 all week. Josh spent going to plants. They have a whole bunch of their production plants here in central part of Pennsylvania. He said he got to eat a lot of really good applesauce.
We got a pretty good car right now, well up inside the top 10.
Josh Williams had a great run in the beginning of the season, right there in the points chase. But after a couple of bad races, he's dropped back a bit, and it sounds as if he'll just run the super speedways the rest of the year. 00 out front, it's Cole Custer. He's been having a good battle all day long with Matt Krzyzewski. More of ARCA racing coming up. Welcome back to Pocono. Out front, it's Cole Custer. We're on lap number 38. Matt Krzyzewski has led 28 laps today. Will Kimmel's been out front for 4 of those, and now Custer has led 6 laps. Had a good battle on the racetrack a moment ago there. Frank Kimmel and Sarah Cornett-Ching were side by side, and again, we normally don't see Frank Kimmel trying to get back on the lead lap, but he was involved in that lap 1 crash and got heavy damage to the right rear of his Menards and Ansel Toyota.
Yeah, he's trying to get by the 98 of Austin Wayne Self. That is not a battle for position. Austin Wayne Self is on the lead lap, but Sarah Cornett-Ching, the car right in front of Austin Wayne Self, is a battle for position and a battle for that free pass.
And there's Bo Lamastus in that number 42. That is the Crosley race car. And there goes Sarah. She's going to swing right by that time. Nice move by the 2 car.
Yeah, she's gotten way out in front of Frank Kimmel in that battle to be the first car 1 lap down.
Interesting situation today in our points race. If you joined us late, we had a really big crash, and that has taken Tom Hessert into a bad position. He is currently running in 27, but the 2 car continues on a nice pace, Jim Trado.
And indeed, this young driver, this Sarah Cornett-Ching, is a driver to watch. She's second in the Scott Rookie Challenge points right now, but this, believe it or not, is the first track she's seen for the 2nd time. I talked to her at the driver's meeting this morning. I said, how does that feel coming back to a track? She said, you know what? I like the bumps. They took those out. I thought I had an edge, if anything, there when we're here in June. Turn 2, the tunnel turn's been repaid. 170 feet by 28-foot wide patch. She likes going through there quick, but she said, by entry to turn 3, I've got to work on that. We saw a very textbook pass there. Tony Blanchard is coaching her around this racetrack. She is doing a great job in that number 2 machine today.
Nice run for the 2 car. Phil, we talked about the fact that we had 7 consecutive first-time winners in this division. Well, then we went to Iowa, and Mason Mitchell messed up our streak. But then off to IRP, and Travis Braden wins. So 8 first-time winners. And look at the top of our running order here. We got a couple of guys that could continue the streak.
Yeah, without a doubt, with Cole Custer, Matt Krzyzewski. Right now, Grant Enfinger has pulled himself up into the 3rd spot. Will Kimmel back to 4th. So if this race goes green the rest of the way, it looks like we might have yet another first-time winner. Right now, Cole Custer has opened up a 3-second lead on Krzyzewski.
Cole Custer making his 3rd start in the ARCA Racing Series. He finished 2nd at New Jersey, and as we said, had a problem here at this racetrack back in June, finished 24th. Back to Caitlin Vinci.
Well, you guys were talking about Grant Enfinger, and I chatted with him earlier today. When he got a 2nd place finish here at Pocono earlier in the season, he told me today that he didn't think he had the car to get the win, but this weekend he says, I feel very differently. We brought a completely different package, same race car, but made a lot of adjustments and fine-tuned it. So he's felt confident all throughout this weekend in that 23 machine.
And the engine, Phil, that is in that 23 car today is engine number 20 for the Ilmor people. It won at Daytona earlier this year.
Yeah, that's a great package that ARCA and Elmer worked together on here. It's an ARCA 396. We saw Enfinger take a shot at the 54 of Kurzievsky. Inside of 10 laps to go right now. Grant Enfinger would love to get another spot here, be another 5 points. If he manages to get to the end of this thing, he's going to have a huge point stay with his closest contenders all having trouble on lap 1.
The differential was 70 coming into the day, and right now it's 190 for Grant Enfinger over Austin Wayne Self. So hopefully he can hold his position. It'd be a career day for Matt Kurzievsky. We mentioned that his best finish happened right here at Pocono back in June. He finished 5th right now, running in 2nd. So great day for him also.
And he wants that 2nd spot. He's doing all he can do to keep Grant Enfinger behind him. Grant looks like he may have a better car right now. His guys have worked on that car, made it a little bit better. He's all over the back of Kurzievsky.
Enfinger, talked to him in the garage, and I said, you know, I kind of dogged him a little bit when we covered the Indy race. I said I didn't think he was as competitive as he expected to be, and he said, man, I'll tell you, we just were tight all day, and look at this, he's going to make a run. He's going by Kurzievsky. They're going down the front straightaway, and it looks like he's going to try to get 2nd away.
He got a great run off of turn number 3, had that momentum, pulled down underneath the 54 down the straightaway. Let's see what happens. They're going to get to Tom Hessert, going to move up the racetrack. Looks like Enfinger has it.
Hessert has his modified back out on track, trying to kick in a few extra points. He's already gained 2 positions right now with that Valvoline on board.
Yeah, tough break for Tom Hessert. He didn't even get through turn 2 on lap number 1 before he got taken out of contention.
What a tough day for Cunningham Motorsports. The number 22 of Kyle Weatherman spins to get it all started, and then Hessert gets the front end ripped off of his car, and that's going to be a bad day in the points. Let's go back to Caitlin, get an update on car 54.
Well, ever since that last restart, Ray, he's been complaining about how tight his race car is. He just came across the radio and said, my car is so tight that I'm having to steer it with the throttle, which gave Grant Enfinger that opportunity to pass him.
So Enfinger has gone by Kurzievsky, and now the differential between our leader and 2nd place is about 4.8 seconds. Without a caution, is there any shot for Enfinger to get there?
No, I don't think so, because he did not run as fast that last lap as Cole Custer did. Cole's really been just about the fastest car on the racetrack each and every lap, doing a real nice job. But we're not too surprised about that. We see how well he does in the Camping World Truck Series at 17 years old, already with 2 wins under his belt.
I think the most impressive day I've seen him run, we were at Gateway watching a Camping World Truck Series race, and he got knocked out of position, got thrown all the way to the back of the field, and just methodically worked his way back up. And for a young man to have that kind of composure, it was really fun to watch. And as you said, having a couple of victories already is a great feather in his cap, and they're going to take that team and go full-time next year in the Camping World Trucks.
Yeah, don't forget now, that same team we're talking about, that truck team, just finished 2nd. Cole Custer was down in that pits with Joe Shearer Jr. and all those guys when Kevin Harvick drove that Haas Automation Chevy to a 2nd place finish.
Listening in and learning, no question about it, but to be tied up with Junior Motorsports is certainly a good position for this young man, and he's had a great race car today. As of this point, Cole Custer has led 13 laps, but we're inside 5 to go.
That's a battle for the top 10 right there. Bobby Gerhardt, that Lucas Oil Chevrolet has it. Nick Igdalski's trying to get it, trying to get back up into the top 10 like he was last year.
Igdalski goes to the high side. Gerhardt's going to have it right down glued to the yellow line. Looks like Nick might have a little more momentum coming up off the corner.
Bobby's going to fight him here up off of turn number 1.
There goes the 98. Here's we're back to that battle. Gerhardt and Nick Igdalski back and forth as they go through the tunnel turn and down the short chute.
Boy, Nick's Tahoe sticks down through there in the tunnel turn, so he knew he had enough grip there on the outside. Will Kimmel on pit road. Unscheduled pit stop for Will Kimmel coming fast. Oh, look at that left front tire went down, Ray.
Absolutely, and that is going to take him out of a top 5 run as he will bring his number 69 to pit road. And I'll tell you what, they're just about out of ways to find more bad luck for car number 69 than they've had in 2015.
Yeah, just a tough break for Will Kimmel here. We saw him change 4 tires on his pit stop, so it wasn't that he had a lot of laps on that tire, but undoubtedly must have run over something with that 69 car. Jim, what about it?
Well, it came down, not only was it sparking, but a little bit of flame. The rubber got on the header momentarily on this Ford. The Voteland springs forward. Very disappointing for this team. They're trying to just get the tire off and away from the assembly so they can put a fresh left front on to finish this thing.
Well, the bad luck continues for Kimmel Racing. And we're back up front with Cole Custer as he continues to pick him up and put him down with just a couple of laps to go.
Yeah, solid 5-second lead right now for Cole Custer. He just wants this thing to stay green the rest of the way. Remember, in the ARCA Racing Series, if the caution comes out anytime, we will restart this race, even if the white flag has been displayed.
Right, a little bit different than the NASCAR policy here in the ARCA Racing Series. Today is event number 14 of 20 in the championship chase. We've had 7 consecutive different champions in the ARCA Racing Series over the last 7 years, and for sure that streak will continue if Grant Enfinger or Hessert or Self win it, no matter how it plays out.
Yeah, 2 to go for Cole Custer right now. We saw Will Kimmel making his way back towards the racetrack. He's going to be out of contention, though, but Frank Kimmel really salvaged. Now, there's Joe Shear Jr., left side of your screen. He just called that great race just a few moments ago for Kevin Harvick with that runner-up finish.
And just to the right of him, that's Rich Lesses, who is the crew chief here for Cole Custer on the ARCA Series. These guys have assembled a really great team over there, and they've got a bunch of brand new trucks. They're, you know, Kevin Harvick was here to help them understand their equipment, to give them evaluation and say every little bit of information we can get, the better we can make it next year for Cole.
Yeah, that's in preparation for full-time next year for Cole Custer, and he takes the white flag. 1 to go.
How about this? Cole Custer has won in the K&M Pro Series. He's won in the Camping World Trucks. He's making his 3rd start today in the ARCA Racing Series presented by Menards, and so far it looks like all he's got to do now is coast it through the last couple of turns. He's got about a 5.5-second lead over Grant Enfinger.
Yeah, looked like he pedaled a little bit down in turn number 1. He wanted to catch this 97 car at the right spot in the straightaway. Don't want to get too close to anybody right now with that 5-second lead.
Custer now will roll all the way through turn number 3. This is the final lap today in the ModSpace 125. Early on, it looked like Matt Krzyzewski was going to give him a really good run, but they dialed that thing in for him, no question about it. So he rolls out of turn number 3, and Cole Custer from Madera Ranch, California will win here at Pocono.
Just another step for that young man.
Yep.
Another strong win. Grant Enfinger has a great point day with a runner-up finish. Matt Krzyzewski gets his career best with a 3rd.
9 first-time winners in this season in the ARCA Racing Series. That is a phenomenal stat.
And what'd you say, 14 races?
Yep.
That is incredible.
9 first-time winners, and Cole Custer adds his name to that list.
How about a list of some of the guys that have won here in the ARCA Racing Series here at this racetrack? How about Ricky Stenhouse, Jeff Purvis, Ryan Newman, Casey Mears, Joey Logano, Kyle Larson, and how about the first career win just in this season alone?
Started off with Blake Jones at Talladega, and how about Todd Gilliland? He was just 15 years and 2 days old when he won at Toledo, but now another youngster joins the list. As Cole Custer continues to add to his racing resume, he'll get the trophy today here at Pocono.
Another teenager goes to victory lane.
Couple of good runs today as we look through the finishing order. Great run today for Tom Birdie, who will come home with a 10th place. Nick Igdalski just got pushed out of 10th. He'll finish 11th today. Blow Lamastus in 8th.
At 71 years old in his 55th start, Tom Birdie gets him a top 10. Best career finish.
That's a pretty cool deal. So how about this? Cole Custer's going to bring it up to the wall. The crew is there. The Haas Automation Chevrolet. Did he stall it?
Yes, he stalled it.
They're like, fire that thing back up and let's see some smoke, buddy. Now he's got her going.
He's a nice young man, too. Really does a nice job.
I mentioned Bo Lamastus with his 8th place finish. That'll be a career best today. Krzyzewski will get a career best with a third-place run. So lots of guys with lots to talk about, but this is the guy we're going to want to hear from. Cole Custer picks up the victory today. He is the winner of the ModSpace 125 from the Pocono Raceway. So the burnout is complete for Cole Custer. He has won today here at Pocono, becoming the 9th different first-time winner in 2015 here in the ARCA Racing Series. What is this? Frank Kimmel. Well, some sort of a disagreement there between Frank Kimmel and it looked like Bobby Gerhardt. Let's get back to Caitlin.
Well, Matt Krzyzewski had one of the strongest cars all race long. You were complaining about a tight condition there at the end. Did you feel like you had anything for the leaders towards the end of this race?
Towards the end of the race, no. There was nothing I could do. The car was great. The car was phenomenal. It just wanted 4, and unfortunately we were dealt the cars we were dealt and played it the best that we could. The car just got tighter and tighter, and then I did everything I could to try and keep the 23 from getting by me, but ended up burning the right rear off the car, and then I got loose and it was a handful. So did what I could. We're not points racing, so it's hard to be proud of third. We've been dying to get our first win, and that much closer, just that much closer. So
Matt Krzyzewski earns his 3rd top 5 effort so far this season. Now let's send it to Jim Trado in victory lane.
Well, he certainly had a lot of help along the way. Eddie DeHunt on the spotter stand, who of course works for Jeff Gordon on Sundays. But here it is, the team of Kurt Busch has made that pit stop that keep them in the lead. And Cole Custer, at 17 years of age, a winner here in the ARCA Racing Series. Pocono Raceway, one of the tracks these young teenagers prior to age 18 can get experience. But Cole, talk about this race car and the race. You said the car drove a lot better than June. How good was it for those 50 laps?
It was great. We got pretty tight at the end of the run, but it was definitely a lot better. We worked on it pretty hard from our first race here, and I can't thank everybody enough. Junior Motorsports, Wayne Peterson helping us out, and it was just a great race for us. Haas Automation, Code 3, I got to thank them too, and I was just able to bide my time and try and keep the thing clean, and just able to come on top.
Now, when it came to getting things right, your crew chief, Rich Luscious, he had a job to do. Truck chief over on the other side of the garage, but when it came to getting this car dialed in, how confident were you during the run? You said it got a little different, but talk about the confidence you had in this team before the green flag even.
Well, I have all confidence in my team. I love my guys, and they work their butts off, and they had to do the truck and the ARCA car this week, so we were really switching back and forth a lot. So gotta thank them, and it was just a great weekend, and I can't explain it.
Cole Custer wins here at Pocono Raceway in the ARCA Racing Series. Caitlin?
Well, Austin Theriault came home in the 4th position, your first ARCA start of the year, and you ended up with a top 5 effort. How would you assess your day?
We had a decent day going. We struggled a little bit in practice and qualified decent. But the first lap there, getting into turn 2, everybody stacked up, and we really hurt the front of the Linda Beans PerfectMain.com car. And these tracks, you're going so fast that if you crinkle the nose, it just really hurts the turn in the center of the corner. So we struggled with that pretty much the whole race, and we salvaged a top 5, and I appreciate everybody worked hard all weekend. Pocono's a fun track. I hope to come back here again in the near future, but you can't complain. Definitely would have liked to have won, made it 2 for 2, but you have days like that, and we'll go back to work and come back again.
Austin Theriault leaves Pocono with a 4th place effort, guys.
How about a win and a top 5? I guess that's a pretty good average in 2 races. When we look at our points race today, big shakeup. Tommy Hessert takes one on the chin. He was involved in that lap 1 crash, so he'll be back in 3rd position. I guess tied with Austin Wayne Self, but Grant Enfinger really opens up his gap.
He had 70 points coming here. Now we've got a dogfight for 2nd on back to 4th, but Grant Enfinger has a nice little cushion. That's almost a full race right now on these guys.
Sarah Cornett-Ching, our Scott rookie spotlight today, had a very good day, and she ended up finishing 13th today, but she'll be back in 6th in points. We've had all from 1st to 9th, all those drivers have competed in every race throughout the course of the season so far, and there's a lot of interesting races coming up on this schedule, Phil.
Yeah, James Swanson had his 9th in points. He had a top 15 finish here again.
So tomorrow Well, we're going to have a race day and victory lane for you here from Pocono. You want to get all of the race action? Well, we can cover it for you. Race day will be on Fox Sports 2. Then don't miss victory lane on Fox Sports 1. It all begins at 11 a.m. Eastern on Fox Sports 2. From Pocono, more racing coming your way on the Fox family of networks tomorrow right here at this great racetrack. Well, what a day it was for the 17-year-old. He puts another mark on his racing resume. We've got another couple of them coming your way on Fox. We'll close out the season at Kentucky and Kansas. For Caitlin and Jim and Phil Parsons, I'm Ray Dunlap saying thanks for joining us. All the congratulations goes to Team 00.